What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate support. Guys, we've been covering the story. Got more information on the story we've been covering exclusively for the last 2 weeks. And the story is that of missing Philadelphia woman, Kada Scott, who on 2 weeks ago, well, on the 2-week mark of her missing this past Saturday, 48 hours ago, a female body was found behind a middle school, an abandoned middle school out there in Germantown, Pennsylvania. Shout out there in Philly. And we all had speculation that it was Kada's body, so DNA evidence has confirmed it is the body of 23-year-old missing college student Kada Scott. And as horrible as this is, I want to show you a video, and this reporter made a valid point at the end of this when you see this. But I want you to take a look at this. This is what they're saying so far. There's a press conference scheduled later today, and we'll have more information. But DNA evidence proves that this was Kada Scott, and it's a moment everybody feared. Take a look, and we'll come back with commentary.
Well, they did find her body. It was certainly the very, very sad news that nobody had hoped would be the outcome, that of 23-year-old Kada Scott.
Greg is back on this story again this morning. Greg?
Yeah, I mean, as you said it, Karen, I mean, this is a result that nobody wanted in regards to this missing persons case. And unfortunately, the remains that law enforcement found behind Ada Lewis Middle School over the weekend, it has been confirmed that that is the remains of 23-year-old Kada Scott. Now, police say they found 23-year-old Kada Scott's body after receiving an anonymous tip that led investigators back to the former Ada Lewis Middle School Saturday morning, an area previously searched by police. That tipster, according to sources, asked police to please go back, saying they missed her, and gave a specific location in a wooded area behind the vacant school. When officers went back, they eventually found a body in a shallow grave. Kada's debit card and phone case were found in a different area by the school in the previous search. Kada went missing the night of October 4th after arriving for her overnight shift at a senior living facility in Chestnut Hill. More than a week later, police arrested and charged 21-year-old Keon King in connection with Scott's kidnapping and for a previous kidnapping of a woman earlier this year that was originally dismissed when a key witness failed to show up to court. Investigators believe King was the last person to see her the night she disappeared. As mentioned, police say they found the body after searching the area a second time, which has led to quite a bit of frustration amongst community members.
We were back here, and our dogs were back here, officers were back here. Again, there is a lot of wooded area.
Why did they lie to us and say that they searched this school thoroughly with special trained dogs and drones? Why did the dogs pick up this scent? The body wasn't that deep.
I'm proud of the men and women in this organization that have, been doing the work to try to locate Ms. Scott. And again, in our minds, we know this was a possible reality.
I'm speaking on the behalf of the community. We need answers on why did y'all tell us y'all did a thorough search.
And police have mentioned they understand the frustration from community members, and they were expecting that response because there's just a lot of emotion behind this case. Now, you are looking at the school right now. At this point in time, there is a council member that is actually requesting that this school be demolished because she said it's not only an eyesore, but it's also now a center of a crime. Now, there is also another councilman, Anthony Phillips. He says that he's collecting donations to try to help the family during this tough time. He is requesting items such as toiletries, gift cards, non-perishable food items, other gifts for the family, and he's asking that you drop it off at his office, Councilman Anthony Phillips' office on Wadsworth Avenue, 1514 Wadsworth Avenue in Philadelphia. But then there's also going to be a press conference at 11 a.m. that is going to be held by the district attorney, which we can only imagine that it's going to be possibly additional charges added to Keon King, who was arrested in connection to this kidnapping case. Guys?
And something I want answered is the original woman that got kidnapped by this guy. Okay, she didn't want to appear in court with a guy in the courtroom with her. Why didn't they just do it by Zoom? You know what I mean? So a judge let him go because there was nobody there to testify against him.
I think that the DA's office admits that mistakes were made in that case and that they should have gone. They had other evidence that would have been able to, they was going to have a successful prosecution. So,
right. Why does she have to show up?
So, well, because frequently victims are afraid. I mean, that's one of the big issues. So
yeah, I understand why she didn't want to show up, but let her do it on Zoom.
Okay, guys, that's the facts. Body confirmed to be Kada Scott, 23 years old, life taken from her. This 21-year-old dude up here, Keon King, when you see as the suspect over here, it's the one that's locked up. Didn't help in the investigation and was allowed to keep his mouth shut while he sat and let everybody else pick up the pieces and put the puzzle together after he did what he did, which is shameful. At 21 years old, he's already a terror. Now I'm gonna say something to you. I got 3 or 4 points I'm gonna bring up. First point is this: they've been practicing law in this country for as long as people have been here and been organized as society. Now, yesterday when I did this story, right, I wasn't really taking a jab at the police because the police come after something's done. Now, I don't know how it is to investigate, and I don't know what goes into searching for a missing person. But I do know that, they were at the school like the guy said. And they said they thoroughly searched it. They had 100 and something people at the Arboretum or whatever it was where they were searching. Did they have the same 100 people for training purposes over there? Because where it looked like her body is, it looked like that's her pathway, and it would have been disturbed dirt right there. That's something they're trained to look for. So, I mean, I don't know. And I don't want to take away from the fact that a criminal did this. So instead of you really focusing on the police that say they searched or whatever, it wouldn't have had to come to that unless this guy did what he did. That's the first fact. This guy took somebody's daughter. You could look at her in all the pictures. She was a clean girl, took care of herself. This motherfucker did what he did to her, which we still don't know, and then threw her in dirt and just threw dirt on her. How horrible is that? How horrible is that? And this could have been anybody's daughter that this guy fancied. Now, I'm going to bring another point, right? I meant to say this yesterday, and I kicked myself when I was done with the video where I left it out. Check it out. Said she was arguing with somebody on her phone at her job. Said she just got to the job, right? And said she was only there about 20 minutes, and then she said, "I'll be right back," and she went outside. If you're at a job and you say, "I'll be right back," a lot of times you're not leaving the job. So I started thinking, and this is just a scenario I got. When somebody, now we seen a little bit of this guy, Keon King, with him peeking in people's windows, trying to get them to come out the house, doing all kind of stuff so he could do something to them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take the sex out of this, the gender. If you're at a job and somebody's stalking you or somebody's arguing with you and all this other stuff and it's getting heated or whatever, right? How do you think they can get you out of that job knowing you don't want to leave and they ain't not going to come in there and physically get you out because there's too many witnesses? This is what I'm thinking. I think he threatened to do something to her car. You know what I'm saying? I'll tear your car up. Or, don't know his background, but you know he's slick. He might have been like, "I'm sitting in your car right now. I'm digging in your stuff," and all that, something just to get her to come outside. "I'll tear your car up." I think he used that to lure her out of that building where she was safe. Or something like that. Either way, when she said, "I'll be right back," I think she was just supposed to go to the car. Something happened in the parking lot, but we don't have cameras. Because in that other case, said he beat the girl up and it was another person there. He beat the girl up and then snatched her with a person out there, a witness. Put her in the car when he had his 2-year-old child in the back seat. This already shows this guy's single-minded. He don't give a damn who's around and who watches when he want to do something to prove a point. So I think she went outside because he threatened to do something to her car, or he said he was doing something to her car or whatever. And when he went outside, she went outside, he abducted her. There's no cameras out there, so we'll never know. But I honestly believe he made a threat to something that she cherished that was outside her car, most likely forcing her to come out and say, don't touch my stuff. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's how he got her. This guy was calculated. He knew what he was doing. See, Kada was the third person, supposedly, and they think there's more victims, but from what we know, she's the third person that came across this guy with these habits he has of stalking. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. This guy, every time he's doing this, he's getting more and more better at messing with the emotions of people to get them to do his bidding, or putting them in a position of fear to where he can angle them and make them go down the avenues that he wants, where he's waiting. These are sick people. It's like a sexual bully or something like that. Sick people. 21 years old, he already into that type of stuff. Unforgivable. Jail or anything, this guy need to be put to death immediately. Seriously. Another thing is this. If you listen to what the media said at the end, it made perfect sense. Hey, why didn't they just do it on Zoom like they always do if somebody's out of state or something? I'm more than sure they knew the person was scared or didn't want to show up and go to court. You could have just Zoomed the meeting. You ain't got to be in the same courtroom as them. And that's the thing. When these vicious crimes occur against people that are victimized, it shouldn't be a rule that they have to pop up in court, show up in court. Just put them on a Zoom meeting. And if the stuff is already out there, you know, the state always pick up charges. If something's vicious, the state needs to just pick the charge up instead of throwing it out. It's crazy. This guy could have been off the street. You know what I mean? Why didn't you just do a Zoom? And that brings you to the last part of this. You ever notice with this type of stuff, you get these criminals, they commit crimes, time is of the essence, people are missing, families are pulling their hair out, people are organizing the street, demanding justice. Everybody says they want the person to come home, but you got the person that has all the answers and has the keys to all the answers, but they get to sit in jail and say nothing, protected under the same law that's supposed to provide justice for families and victims. They need to sign something that says, listen, when cops get you in there and all the signs point to you, they should be able to get that information out of you, especially when it's like almost dead certain that you the one that did it. I don't care if you got to physically put your hands on somebody. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just interrogate the shit out of motherfuckers. For real. Most people that do heinous crime are poor liars. A lot of times. Especially crimes against women. You see these dudes doing this shit. They so stupid when they in there and you talking to them. You know what I mean? You asking them direct questions. They like little kids, especially people that do stuff to children. Proof of that, go look at some of these interrogation things on TV when people do some of the stupidest crimes and people ask them direct common sense questions that they can't answer. Either way, man, this whole thing is messed up. Like I said, DNA confirmed it was her. We already knew it was her anyway. You could tell by the way they were talking, or we alerted the family already. So, you know, leave them be in peace and stuff. But it may be her. You knew it was her. Something on that body was matching the description. You knew it was her because you talked about her in past tense. A lot of times in on pressers, they tell you everything you need to know. Same thing about the presser when the young lady went missing up there in Maryland. I just did a story on her recently. Name slips my mind, but you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, either way, man, it's heartbreaking. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make Kada Scott and everybody else that we've lost in horrific ways this year, rest in peace. I will see you in the next video. Take care.